When you think of Georgia, you probably think it's going to be all shrimp and grits and swimming in the ocean and palm trees and oysters and sunshine. And it is, that's all true. But there is a darker side of Georgia that no one tells you about, things that make my blood boil and really give me great anxiety. Now, I need to tell you that I'm probably going to hurt your feelings with a lot of the things that I say. I'm going to say things that are going to get your hackles all up, and all I can say is sorry, not sorry. So, fair warning, if you continue to watch this video, I have your implied consent that you are probably going to be offended and you're going to watch the video anyway, and you are watching it at your own risk. I am talking about things they don't tell you about living in Georgia. And no, I'm not talking about the country. I am talking about the state. So, buckle up. Things are about to get bumpy. The first one is something that, like, I seriously don't even wanna say out loud. If I pretend like it's not true, then I can live in blissful ignorance, and if I don't see it, then it doesn't exist and therefore it doesn't affect me. I wish. Snakes. There, I said it. Good lord, there are some snakes here. This is a hot climate, and apparently they like that. Just yesterday, I pulled my garbage can out to take it down to the end of the driveway, and there was a big old snake curled up under the garbage can. I literally had a heart attack. I whipped out my phone from 10 feet away, of course, and I took a picture of it with the Google app, and it told me that it was a water snake and non-venomous, but it could have just as easily have been a copperhead. And I don't know about you, but I really don't want to get close enough to it and ask it to fill out a profile on ancestry.com so that I can determine its ethnic origin. But listen, this is just something that you need to know and you're going to have to deal with if you live in Georgia. I hate snakes, and I know that the non-venomous ones are good because they eat rodents, but I also had a rattlesnake kill one of my chickens last summer, so I don't like them. I do not like them at all. The best thing I can tell you is to just stay out of the woods, stay out of the brush, stay out of tall grass. Watch where you are walking at all times if you're walking anywhere other than like downtown Atlanta. And if you must walk out in nature, they make these really awesome things called snake boots. They are tall boots that are supposed to be impenetrable from fangs. And I know that they work because last summer, my husband was trimming the hedges out front one day and he felt something hit his foot. And when he looked down, there's a copperhead right there that had struck at his ankle. Thank goodness he had those boots on and a pistol, but that's a different story. Let's talk about the humidity. It is so humid here in the summertime. It is like walking into the bathroom while your 11-year-old is taking a shower, and he's already been in there for 45 minutes with the windows closed and the fan off. We can't do anything about the humidity outside, but you must do something about the humidity inside your house. Nobody wants to come in your house and have it smell like mildew. Nobody wants to walk in and wrinkle their nose because there's that musty, funky, wet smell. It's nasty. So please do yourself a favor, run the bathroom vent fan when you take a shower. It's really not that hard. And if your vent fan doesn't work, they're like $40 at Home Depot these plays. Replace it with one that actually works. You don't want water just running down the walls of your bathroom because it's so steamy in there. Last year, when our air conditioner died a slow and agonizing death and had to be replaced, we found out that they now sell air conditioning units that have dehumidifiers as part of the system. We figured, hey, we're already spending 10 grand on a new HVAC system. What's another $2,000 to get the dehumidifier because it's all so cheap, right? But it works really well, almost too well. Half the time, it feels like a meat locker in my house because it's so cold. The dehumidifier removes all of the humidity from the air. So even when the thermostat is set at 76 degrees, it's still cold in my house. The lack of moisture makes the interior temperature much more comfortable. So I save money by keeping my thermostat set at a higher temperature. And speaking of moisture, another thing that they don't tell you about is the summertime thunderstorms.
Oh, wow.
I am filming this at the end of August, and it is raining outside right now. Over the course of this whole summer, it has rained at least 5 days a week in the afternoon for an hour or two. Since the summer began, it just doesn't stop. Nothing like having a 4th of July barbecue and having such a huge thunderstorm that everybody has to come inside and then the power goes out. Yes, we were eating hot dogs off of paper plates in the dark with no air conditioning. That's a good time.
Brand new severe thunderstorm warning in effect right here over the north side of the perimeter.
The good news is that it usually only lasts for about an hour or so, and then it clears up and the sky is beautifully blue again. It's actually really kind of weird when I think about it, but it happens like clockwork all summer long. Let's talk about food. Another thing that they don't tell you about is that Georgians love some fast food fried chicken. There have got to be at least 10 different chains of chicken restaurants here. Chick-fil-A, Popeyes, Kentucky Fried Chicken, Church's, Bojangles, Zaxby's, El Pollo Loco. I'm not even counting the sit down restaurants. That's just fast food. We have 4 fast food chicken places on the same block in the town where I live. I have to drive about a half an hour away to get any good Thai or Indian food. So if you love fried chicken, this is going to make you very happy. But if you're a little more adventurous of an eater, or if you don't like everything dipped in batter and deep fried, you may have to drive a few miles to find something a little more exciting than buttermilk fried chicken, which is really good. I'm not saying that it's not tasty. I just don't want to eat it 3 times a day, 7 days a week, except on Sunday because Chick-fil-A is not open. Since we're talking food, I feel morally obligated to explain to you the iced tea situation here in Georgia. Iced tea equals sweet tea. If you don't want sweet tea, you have to ask for unsweet tea. Sweet tea is essentially 2 cups of sugar in a quart of water. It and a couple of tea bags. It is ridiculously sweet. I seriously don't understand how anyone can drink this concoction. It is the most sickly sweet thing ever. It's gross. There, I said it. It is gross. And if you don't agree with me, ask yourself why we have an obesity epidemic. But if you don't like sweet tea, you can get unsweet tea, which is just regular iced tea. Or you can get half and half. Half and half is half sweet tea, half unsweet tea. It's not what you put in your coffee in the morning. So when you go to a restaurant, here's how you're going to order. You're going to either order sweet tea, half and half, or unsweet tea. But if you ask for an iced tea, they just look at you and go, sweet tea? While we're on the subject of restaurants, let's talk about the dress code here when dining out. Unless it's prom night, nobody gets dressed up. My husband and I went out to dinner for our anniversary, which is in May, and it happened to be prom night. The kids sitting at the table next to us were so cute. The girl was in her like full-length sequin gown, the guy was in a tuxedo. Meanwhile, I was wearing flip-flops and a sundress. This is a vacation destination for a lot of people. Savannah is bachelorette party headquarters. Augusta is for everybody that wants to go watch the Masters or play golf. And even in Atlanta, it is often a place people go on vacation. And when people are on vacation in the hot, humid South, the last thing they want to do is put on fancy clothes that are going to get wrinkled in the first 10 minutes. Sundresses with flip flops are completely appropriate for a night out on the town. Most men usually wear shorts, even to fancier restaurants, unless they just don't want to be freezing cold in the restaurant because, for whatever reason, restaurants seem to think that the thermostat needs to be set at 58. Just because it's hot outside does not mean that I want to have icicles dripping off of my eyelashes when I go into the restaurant. And if you are eating on Tybee Island or any of the other beach towns in Georgia, a bathing suit with a cover up is perfectly acceptable to wear to the restaurant to have dinner. So now you know. But there are also so many reasons to love Georgia, which is why we packed up and moved across country in 2013 and have never looked back. So if you are thinking about moving to Georgia, watch one of these videos next. This is the one that I think you'll like, and this is the one that the algorithm thinks you'll like best.